One of the most confusing features about the Avatar Legends RPG is balance. A new mechanic designed specifically for this game is the defining system that sets this game apart from every other Powered by the Apocalypse system game. So what is balance, how do we use it, and what is the DM's role in it? Well, let's get into that. So what's up guys, my name is Chris, and today we're talking about balance and how our players use it and how us as GMs can use it to influence our game and use it to make a better story. And before we get any further into this video, if you enjoy this video, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Only about 20% of my viewers are actually subscribed to this point, so if you could subscribe, that'd be a really big help to me. Balance on a character sheet is comprised of this track right here. This is the balance track. It's put between two ideals, two principles. We're gonna be using the Guardian's principles for example here. There's gonna be self-reliance and then there is trust. In between these are numbers. Starting at 0 in the middle, then there's gonna be a +1, -1, +2, -2, so on and so forth. That is our balance track. Your character is gonna be pulled back and forth between those things depending on your actions and what you do. A good example of a character from the Avatar series that's torn between self-reliance and trust is Toph. She starts extremely self-reliant, almost doing everything herself and not helping her teammates or not trusting her teammates to help her with anything. It's not until she has that conversation with Iroh that she starts shifting more and more towards trusting her teammates. When you first make a character sheet, your balance is gonna be almost dead center at 0. Your center of balance is something different from your actual balance. Now there's two things to keep in mind. There's gonna be your actual balance and then your center of balance. Your center of balance is where you are truly neutral. That is your center point and how you can be as focused as possible as a character. Then you have your actual balance. Your balance actually shifts back and forth depending on what's going on in the game. Whether it be a move put against you, something you take, or a downside your DM gives you, your balance will shift one way or another depending on what you do. Now in Toph's example here, when she starts out the series, she is very, very self-reliant, almost completely self-reliant on her side. And throughout the series, she kind of shifts more and more towards the center where she trusts her teammates. She does not ever fully rely on them for everything, but she trusts them enough to let them have their role. Now mechanically, there's also pros and cons between staying dead center, but also going towards either of your principles. Now if you look on the far right here with self-reliance, there's gonna be the +3, -3. That +3 is your +3 to self-reliance. If there's anything that you need to roll that's gonna be self-reliance checked by your DM's decision or by your own choice, depending on which move you use, then you're gonna have a +3 to that. But if anything has to do with trust, you're gonna have a -3 to that roll. Now, if you want your character to be completely self-reliant, that's fine. You can run your character that way, but there are the mechanical downsides of a potential -3 to that roll. Then at the same time, your balance is perfectly centered at 0-0. You're never gonna have an additional boost or negative to any rolls that you do with that one. So enough talk about the stats themselves. What can you do with the balance track? Now, there are some balance moves that people can use either against your character or you as a character can use. We're gonna read through those now. First is live up to your principle. Whenever you take an action in accordance with the values of a principle, mark fatigue to roll that principle instead of whatever stat you would normally roll. Next is call someone out. When you openly call somebody out to live up to their principle, shift your balance away from center, then name and roll their principle. On a hit, they are called to act as you say. They must either do so or mark a condition. On a 7 to 9, they change your view of the world, in turn mark a fatigue and change your balance as they would choose. On a miss, they can demand you act in accordance with one of your principles instead, mark a condition, and act as they request. That's quite literally calling somebody out on their bullshit. On a sufficient roll, you get to influence them on how they do things. Typically it'd be an NPC. Sometimes it can be a character, and it would change how their character could react to some things. But if they have an opposing roll or you roll low, they get to influence you, or just generally nothing happens at all. That's a really big move for a story moment that you can use, and it has a high risk but also a high reward aspect of it. The next one is deny a call out. Whenever an NPC calls you out on your principles, you get to use this move. Or you can choose not to, but more often than not you're going to. When you deny an NPC calling on you to live up to your principle, roll with that principle. On a hit, act as they say or mark 1 fatigue. On a 10+, their words hit hard. You must also shift your balance towards the called on principle. On a miss, you stand strong. Clear condition, clear 1 fatigue, or shift your balance, your choice. Now that one seems a little backwards. On a hit, you listen to them, but on a fail, you don't. What's up with that? At the end of the day, your balance is not a good thing and a bad thing. It is two good things about your personality that you need to learn to balance on itself. And honestly, deny a call out can be both a good thing and a bad thing. You might want to succeed or you might want to fail depending on the situation, depending on the NPC, or depending on who's calling you out at the given moment. It all depends on the character, the storyline, and what's happening in that exact moment. Toph getting called out and not being a team player would be a perfect example of denying a call out. She didn't want to listen. She actually failed her check and she didn't listen to them. She stayed strong in her convictions of saying self-reliance. In this example, if she would have rolled higher, she would have been able to see that, oh, maybe I should listen to my party, or maybe I should help them out. But she didn't, so that's how the story progressed. Some enemy moves will attempt to shift your balance one way or another, depending on what's going on. Azula tried to shift everybody's balance every way possible. Now this move is perfect for that. It's resist shifting your balance. When you resist an NPC shifting your balance, roll. On a hit, you maintain your current balance in spite of their words or deeds. On a 10+, you choose 2. On a 7-9, you choose 1. Clear a condition or mark growth immediately by acting to prove them wrong. shift your balance towards the opposing principal, or learn what their principal is if they have one. If you already know, take one forward against them. Basically a +1 roll anything against them. On a miss, they know just what to say to throw you off balance. Mark a condition and your GM shifts your balance twice. But what if you're already a +3 to something? What happens if you get shifted 2 more that way? Well, you actually lose your balance, which is the last move here. If your balance shifts past the end of your track, you lose balance. You obsess over that principle to a degree that is not healthy for you or anybody around you. Choose one of the following. Give in or submit to your opposition, lose control of yourself in a destructive and harmful way, or take extreme action in line with the principle, then flee. Afterward, once you've had some time to recover and recenter yourself, shift your center of balance 1 step towards the principle you exceeded. Then clear all conditions and fatigue, reset your balance to the new center. Why is your center of balance so important here? It's not been used on basically anything, it's only been used to shift back and forth one way or another. Well, it's actually due to one specific mechanic that's really cool and I absolutely love. It's basically your ultimate move, your moment of balance. Now, if you level up, you have a choice to choose a level up option, and one of those options is unlocking your moment of balance. After you unlock your moment of balance, you can use that thing 1 time. But you have to be at your center of balance to use it. So if your balance is 0, but you're a +3, you can't use it. But if your center of balance is +3, then 0 is not somewhere you want to be, let alone +3 on the other end of the spectrum. But I'll go ahead and read you the Guardians real quick. You've sworn to protect the people you care about, but balance is about finding your own place in the world as well. You know what you're capable of accomplishing, and you step up to show the world your unique strength. Tell the GM how you put your own life on the line to defeat a villain or danger that seems unstoppable. The moment of balance is a mechanic that I think is really cool, really strong, and it is absolutely crazy to use it. Quite literally, for the Guardian, it's Deus Ex Machina the mechanic. But that seems a little broken if you just want to stay in your balance the entire time. But that's where this next part comes into. You can only use it 2 times period, and you have to unlock it with a level up every time. So after you fill up your experience boxes, you can unlock it, you use it, you can unlock it 1 more time, but after that, it's it. That's done. Your plot armors run out, basically. By and large, mechanically, I think balance is one of the coolest mechanics that they've come out with in the Avatar Legends RPG, but it's complicated as hell. It's difficult to understand, and it's not very well explained in the booklet unless you read over it a couple times, as the editors got to see. Don't you edit these? Yeah, so do you, so shut up. But I think given some time, mechanically, balance is gonna be the thing that sets this game system apart from other Powered by the Apocalypse games. Now, whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, we've yet to find out. I personally enjoy the system, but I know not everybody's had the same sentiment. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of the balance system. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the little subscribe button, click the little bell icon to get notified. I want to give a very special thank you to all my patrons. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, and I want to give a very special patron shout out to my top tier patrons. Thank you guys so much, Corey H, Rutana, Amaldine Shepherd, and Elizabeth S. You guys are fantastic. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the reason I'm able to do these things. I really appreciate your patronage. Now that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.